Hey everybody, it's T here, and we're doing a video on Jason Blaha Strength and Fitness. Blaming animal product or carbohydrates for obesity is dishonest. Um, yeah, animal products don't make you obese, but carbohydrates definitely make you obese. I don't know what I was talking about, but okay. Let's listen to this video.
Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Today I'm going to do something that you never see in this industry or rarely see, and
that's what? Throw this weight up and down and pretend like you're doing curls? Okay, Jason.
promote a little bit of common sense. Alright, you always have people in these really extreme fringe diet groups, and they become larger and larger and larger, who try to blame individual factors for obesity, for body fat. They blame carbohydrates. Right? They don't single out and say, refined sugars are probably a contributing factor. See.
Well, carbohydrates, they convert to sugar, don't they, Jason? That's the whole purpose. Well, they come out and blame sugar. Carbohydrates convert to sugar. Yeah, in your body.
You could take that simple line and say, yes, that is true. Refined sugars are a contributing factor to obesity.
They are a contributing factor if you're eating refined sugars, yes. So are carbohydrates because they convert to sugar. Yeah.
Not the sole blame, they're a contributing factor. That would be, a fair statement, a reasonable evidence-based statement. Say that carbohydrates are the blame. That's ludicrous, right? And you'll hear the crazy vegans, animal products.
What do you mean, man? Carbohydrates are to blame. What are you talking about?
Products are to blame for all these issues. As if...
I know, vegan community is going to blame the carnivore diet community or whatever, the meat diet community, animal product community, that they're the cause of obesity and everything else, of all the problems in the world, which is kind of ridiculous. Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with them on that one.
There is not obesity, cancer, heart disease in the vegan community, right?
Well, there is, because they're eating a high carbohydrate, sugar, drug, whatever, toxic food. What do you expect?
We've seen plenty of all of the above. But they'll blame animal products. That's the blame for these things. Do you guys see the problem with these sort of mindsets?
Yeah, we know that, but people are so stupid because they fall for anything. At least one thing Jason has gotten right, that part. They're going to blame everything on the animal product, the carnivore community, which is kind of odd because meat doesn't cause obesity because there's no sugar in it. It's made up of protein and nutrients, which your body needs to live, thrive, and survive. And there's zero toxins in it. So yeah, and it's not a carbohydrate either. So yeah, it's not going to make you obese whatsoever. So it's not making you obese, then it's not going to make you sick. See what I mean?
Honestly, let's be fair. Let's take both of those statements that people have made. When you think of people who eat, say, lean meat and rice, chicken and rice, or fish and rice, lean steak and rice.
It's funny, I was just about to do a video on this. I think he watched this guy. There was a video on that where they go, one guy, they were just talking. I can't remember who it was right now. I watched that video. I think Jason did too. Where they were talking about, the guy was talking about, well, they blame everything, the vegan community blames everything on the carnivore diet, right? It's all their fault for everything, the illnesses, sicknesses, obesity, and everything. But in the vegan diet community, there's absolutely zero. There's nothing going on there. They're all thriving and healthy, yes. So just blame the carnivore diet for all the obesity and heart disease and diseases and everything else. But vegan diet, oh, it's the perfect diet. It's number one, yes. That is so odd, man, when you know that the carnivore diet doesn't create obesity, and if it creates obesity, everything else comes along with it because it causes an inflammatory response. And if it causes an inflammatory response in your cells, then disease comes along with that, and accelerated aging, cellular damage, and everything else, man. But if meat doesn't cause an inflammatory response when you eat it, you have a flat tummy and you feel really good and you're satiated. It has all the nutrients, it's not deficient in one. I don't see how you could get any disease, and it doesn't cause obesity. If anything, it actually creates good health. Isn't that odd?
When you think of any demographic of people that do that, or the people who you see who live on that sort of food all the time, what do you think of? Think of either thin people or you think of really fit, rich people.
Yeah, it could be thin rich people or thin people. I don't know on which diet. That animal product diet. Yeah. Well, most people that I talk to and I say, you should go carnivore, the first thing they tell me is it's too expensive. Well, I told them that for me to eat a vegan diet or this weird diet what vegan people eat, carbohydrates and shit all day because you're practically starving, so you have to eat all day. I'd spend all my money. It's expensive to do that, and it's expensive to destroy my health. Look, it's more expensive to spend your money on fake food, artificial food that doesn't belong in your body, and it becomes more expensive when you have to pay to fix that problem now, your health. You understand me? Now you need to look, after you destroy your health, you need to look for the solution to fix it. Like your dentist, he's gonna cost you a lot. Toilet paper, let me see what else is there. The doctor, the hospital, you're gonna have to buy insurance. You're gonna need a whole bunch of stuff. Destroying your health, for what? For what purpose? So that these vultures could mooch off you for money? Off your misery? Doesn't make any sense. And why? It's like you're destroying your health, paying to destroy your health. That's even more crazy. Yeah.
Wrong. Why? Because that's how people who eat like that, that's how they end up. You don't see extra body fat, you don't see diabetes, you don't see things in groups of people who eat large amounts of lean animal protein and say rice.
No, now he mixed in rice. Well, yeah, I don't know because they're using up the rice thing. The Chinese eat a lot of rice. I don't know. They might have some heart problems, disease. I can't really say. Again, you're not meant to eat rice, and rice has arsenic in it. I don't know, it has arsenic. It could cause you something. I'm not really sure. It depends on the long haul. Maybe not in the short run, but in the long haul it could. But I definitely know people who's on if you're on a pure carnivore raw diet, you definitely are going to be healthy and not sick or have any obesity or any metabolic problems or any type of diseases. So yeah.
Hey, rice and vegetables, right? That is a classic bodybuilder diet.
Yeah, that's the typical bodybuilder diet. Vegetables, it's not usually rice. It's either potatoes, but okay, potatoes, rice, whatever. And meat.
That is a classic old school bodybuilder diet that a bunch of guys did 20, 30 years ago to get ripped who competed in bodybuilding. That's the textbook bro diet that worked. So there goes your whole animal product. There goes your whole carbohydrate. Now, let's step back and be realistic. Before we even get into data, because again, the epidemiology and the science supports what I just said just fine. You don't see diabetes and cancer and the rates we have in the West in populations that eat that way. Much, 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 much lower rates.
Yeah, we're much more healthier and taller too. We grow up and everything when we eat dairy products. Yes, animal products. I mean, I think it was Joe Frazier. He did a video on that. Tall people, short people, most unhealthy people in the world, and the people that grew up the tallest, us, because, well, grew up healthier and taller because we still eat dairy products, meat products, which can be very expensive in other poor places in the world. They just don't have access to meat. And so they're in poor health, and they don't really grow up.
Well, again, that's what the data shows. But let's come over.
Yeah, look at India, the most unhealthy society in the world. They're the most unhealthiest country in the world is India. Look at Indians. Their kids come out mutated and stuff. They look terrible. They look sickly. Most diseases. And why? Because they're vegans. They're mostly vegans. Their cows run around the street. They don't eat meat. They're a very poor society. Also, some Asian countries, very, very far south, they eat a lot of this type of food too, a slave diet. They don't eat much meat, and so they're not growing up, and they They have health problems.
When any of you out there, let's just use some common sense. Let's set aside all this zealotry. Use common sense. When you
I'm gonna have to agree with Jason, man. Use some common sense, broski. Yes. One video where he's actually telling the truth. Yep.
see an individual who is struggling with their body weight on a very severe level, what does their diet look like? Like their day-to-day, not talking about when they try to diet. What does their normal food intake look like for years and years? You tend to think of a lot of refined foods. You know what? Hamburgers, French fries are pretty common. Not saying that's all they eat. Pretty common. Pizzas, ice cream, dessert. Right? You almost always see that. How often do you see a person who is struggling with their body weight who doesn't regularly eat dessert? I bet you they drink
That depends on the body type too. I don't know.
a lot of calories, right? Again, whether it's, sodas, full sugar sodas, you'll see that, sweetened drinks. Maybe their coffee always has to have cream and sugar in it, right? You see where I'm going here? Without fail,
Yes, I see where you're going there, Jason. Yes.
very few exceptions. There are exceptions to every rule. There are exceptions to every rule, and I want to be clear there. So I'm not singling someone out who says, hey, that's not me and I still struggle with this. Okay, well, you're an outlier, and you do exist. Who do you see struggling with this? What do they eat? Large amounts of refined sugar, or at least large amounts of very refined carbohydrates, combined with large amounts of refined fat. What do I mean by that? Butter or grease or oils of some type, or heavy cream, butter, Again, look.
Again, animal fats are healthy for you. They don't make you fat. That's why people use them on these ketogenic diets. Now he's saying that it's bad for you. You're going to get fat eating these greasy foods called butter. But butter is very healthy for you. I put a thing there in my community section. You can read it. Man, it builds muscle. It's anti-cancer. It's a bunch of things. It helps support immune systems. Got vitamin D in it. What are you talking about, man? It's an animal product, so it's going to have these trace minerals and elements in it. So, man, I just have no clue, Jason. Sometimes he's he's right on, but then he's so spot off again. You know what I mean? It's a known fact you'd eat animal fat in your diet. It's important. So like I said, they use it for ketogenic diet, these crazy people, so that they can drop weight eating a high-fat diet, pure high-fat diet, as opposed to, I just eat a high-fat animal diet and protein, highly nutrient protein diet, whatever.
They're frappuccinos. All right? This is what you see the people eating. Is it from eating fruit? People say, well, fruit's kosher. Yeah, but do you see anyone? You ever seen anyone who managed to become 100 pounds overweight because they ate too much chicken breast and apples?
Not particularly, but it's a possibility still, depending on what's inside the diet. Yeah, I'd say these man-made foods are terrible for you. They could cause obesity. There's raw vegans, and then there's vegans, and then there's raw vegans. Don't forget that. These vegans, they eat the man-made food and everything else. Then you get raw vegans that just try to eat vegetables and fruits, but then they become diminished on that diet. The raw vegan diet, they're really diminished at some point. They all become diminished, but their hair starts falling out, palpitations, whatever. They feel sick, low energy, a whole bunch of things, man. Their nails fall out, skin gets really bad, their teeth start falling out. So why is that if it's such a healthy diet? See what I mean? It's so healthy. That never happens on carnivore diet. You never lose your hair, your teeth fall out, or anything like that. You never get obese. You never feel sick. You don't put on weight. You look thin, lean, mean, strong. Yeah, it's kind of obvious. Like he said, common sense tells you that. I use a lot of common sense. It's actually survival instincts will tell you this for sure. Listen to your body, yourself.
I mean, does this really ever happen? To any statistical significance? No. You're eating potato chips and soda regularly. So that's normal foods, not something they have once a week as a treat. Right? Same thing with desserts. Dessert's a perfect example. People who struggle with their body weight, what do you usually see? Dessert is a normal part of their life. It's not, hey, on Friday night, I treat myself to some cake or ice cream with dessert. Right?
Yeah, but those people are still eating somewhat of a carnivore diet. It's mixed in their diet. Majority of the population out there, they eat meat and they eat these fruits, vegetables, and then fake foods. So they're mixing it all up. So they're not totally deficient in some nutrients because they're eating a carnivore diet. Still somewhat. They're eating meat, in other words, not carnivore diet, but whatever.
That it's a treat. Maybe when they go out to eat once a week. No, they have dessert regularly. 3, 4, 5 times, maybe every day. A milkshake, a slice of cake, you know.
They may have a fast metabolism. I can't tell you. They could be ectomorphs for all I know.
That's generally what you see. Why? Because these are how people overeat calories. Okay, how do we gain weight? Not slow metabolism. That's been debunked in the literature forever. Years ago, that's been completely debunked. Most obese people have
Gonna have to agree with him there.
fast metabolisms relative to thinner people. But they're still gaining weight. It's they're overeating because of the food choices. Now, is there oftentimes reasons for this? Yes. Trauma, unresolved psychological trauma, food addictions. These are serious. These are big deals. And those aren't always just, hey, I can just fix this just by, right now, making a choice. It's not that easy.
Coach has such a nice soothing voice when I listen to him. His videos are funny sometimes. They are misconstrued in a lot of his videos. There's a bit of stuff here that I mostly agree with and some things I don't agree with. But he's pretty spot on.
All right? These are the problems. It's not because of these other foods, not because, they're eating some carbohydrates. Oh, they're eating animal products. That's the whole blame. Oh, they're eating grains. That's the whole blame. All right? Those are insane. Those claims are not supported by the epidemiology. They're not supported by the real world. They're not supported by what we see in the metabolic ward. That's not what's causing people to overeat, and it is an energy balance problem. Calories in, calories out. Okay? It's all these highly refined foods where people are combining a lot of fat with a lot of really hyper-palatable carbohydrates. Okay, that's your combination. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.
Look at that. Lotto Max has draws on Tuesdays and Fridays.
All right, friends. I'll see you in the next video. Tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. That was interesting. Yes. Epidemiology, these studies, man, they're not perfect. I don't like those studies, man. They're like surveys. And people are not eating one diet there. It's all mixed up. So you'll never know what they're suffering from totally. But it does it is common sense what he said about them blaming the animal products for all their problems, obesity and weird stuff and disease and all this when it's actually healthy for you, which is kind of odd and weird. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. Yes, animal products. Blaming animal products or carbohydrates for obesity is dishonest. Carbohydrate? Well, carbohydrates they cause obesity, yes. They cause obesity, man. I don't know. But then he did a thing between fruits and I guess these man-made carbohydrates. It's all relative. See you in the next one. Ciao, my friends. But definitely, a carbohydrate and fruits and vegetables will age the shit out of you. That I know. Look at Adam. He ate the apple. He left the garden. He aged and died.